Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be listing off 8 important truths around emotions that the majority of the wide world has not come to yet. But I hope if you have reverence for emotions like I do, you will find these interesting and or you'll remember the truth in these and want to know more. Now, others may call this unpopular opinions, but what I'm getting to is the things that have not been seen, and our children need us to come to this so we're not passing down all the trauma and the shit from other generations onto them. And I'll be talking about my New Way course that I'm going to be starting. You can either dip in for such as 10 weeks, or it's an ongoing thing because we are all students coming back to feeling here and unsuppressing. So, number one of the things we must realize about emotions is that it is for this era. It's beginning. We are leaders in feeling, and our children are there helping us along. But in the past, as you probably know, it's been all about control and suppression and keeping it down. And by keeping it down, people disconnected from feeling, and they disconnected then from their true essence, their soul path. All right. So remember that. That's so important for us to know. Then it's moved on to things like acupuncture, exercise, doing purging, like let's say enemas or whatever, to try to start to flow energy through our body. But it still is not the same thing as feeling with our heart and really flowing the emotions out, which we'll get into soon. So as we are now getting to the heart era, is what I would say, it's more about emotional embodiment, as in feeling your feelings. If you're sad, then feel the sadness, anger, feel angry, like our children have shown us since the start of time when they're born and they're not inhibited. That's what they want to do, is to shift the emotion however it is. This is the most efficient way, especially in getting to tears, to shift the deepest hurts from ourselves and to flow it out that way, more so than anything else you can do. Yoga, herbs, meditation, anything else, it's coming back to the heart here. Now, not everyone's going to be at that season though as well. And so if you're here and you're revering emotions, well then yes, you are probably one of the first ones to really step into this. Number 2, ancient gurus and systems and whatnot, they didn't look at emotional embodiment. They used things, and I'm talking like I've done a foray into Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, and then even coming into the Western medicines, it's been more about things like massage, relaxation, treatments. Now there's even breath work and ice baths or herbs. Basically, any other way to relax and find peace rather than feeling our stuff. Now they all have a place, but there's also, and I'm going to get to that very soon, a very, very important reason that this needs to be seen. It has been missed in these dogmas, traditions, etc. So number 3, in my book, The Game of Life, I have written about it, and you can find out more details in my book on the emotional black box, is what I call it. We have been, our physical body and our emotional body that's within our body has been recording every emotion we have faced in every scene of our life. Most people find this an unpopular opinion, that our muscles and our tendons are holding on to that energy that we swallowed down a long time ago. Now, it is reflected in our physical body by all sorts of things, such as, stiff muscles, particularly in adults. It can even be in low tone in children, which, might be rolling in feet. It can be any sinus nasal issues where there's low tone. It can be dental issues. It can be speech issues. It can be getting all the things, lactic acid, being ticklish, down to any illness and disease, including colds and flu, sore throats. It's all showing you where you're still holding on to these emotions that you swallowed down a long time ago. It also plays out in how we express ourselves in our behaviors. We are not so much about a personality, rather than this is me expressing myself from my unexpressed emotions from the past. So the person who's really loud and trying to get a lot of attention at themselves is likely expressing themselves from an unmet need. I don't feel very good about myself, so I'm putting myself out there to try and hide that. You name it, in children and in adults, how we behave, especially when it's a negative way, is because we have an unexpressed emotion sitting there. Now, remembering that energy's first, physical second. So even in the biomedical world right now, and still so many mums looking for that professional and practitioner to solve their children's problems, even allied health, etc., it all comes down to coming back to looking at the emotions. It's very simple. It's just not seen and revered that they are causing your child's expressions. And with my background in pediatric speech pathology, I can talk till the cows come home. You can look at many videos on my YouTube channel on many diagnoses and things to start to get a sense of this. But the good news is, as we go, oh my gosh, where do I even start? It's all shiftable. So that means the more we shift all this energy, and I am embodying this myself, the more I found, my rigid muscles have let go, the more I haven't had sore throats and colds, or, headaches, whatever your thing is, it doesn't have to play out like that. And I've gone to the nth degree even with my children where my Hayden, we could have diagnosed as ASD, ADHD. My husband even said, maybe we'll have to put him on medication. We've unraveled that by looking at, and I'm going to get to this as well at the family bubble, but my stuff and his stuff, mother and child, it's so important to be looking at. So number 4, this one is a big one. When your children act up in any way, there's something for you to feel. When your children aren't developing in the right way, it could be anything, behavioral diagnoses, the smallest of things like rolling in feet, dental issues, anything, there's something for you to feel. When they aren't behaving in the best way, the most socially appropriate way, etc., there's something for you to feel. When your children are getting emotional, there's something for you to feel. And I'm going to touch on these in the next couple of points. It's incredibly important for you to remember, and this is the whole premise on my book that I've written, The Game of Life. You are it. You have to come back to feeling for yourself first as a mother of a child who is going through oxygen mask on first, because you, as from day dot, your child has been in your womb and they have been bathing in your safe nest energy. So this is the part to come back to you and, feeling first and with your child around whatever's going on for them. And, or as I say, if they're acting up, if they've got issues at school or whatever, having heart for yourself as a mother to go, I'm actually feeling something here. My emotional black box is still going, clocking emotions to what I'm going through. Now, number 5, I'm trying to get through this quickly. And if you'd like any more depth in this is what I'm trying to point out, is there's plenty to learn and plenty to understand and plenty to practice and embody in our day-to-day life, which is the trickiest part. That's what my New Way course is going to be about. So number 5, you must feel with your children. So I've started talking about that. They are acting in reflection of your energetic state. They're not choosing to. They are acting in reflection, magnetic, energetic. That's exactly what's going on. Whether we like it or not, whether we want to consider that or not, it's energetics. It doesn't matter. If your child is giving you grief, if there's something that you're not liking about your child and how they are, if they're having trouble themselves in their world, there's something for you to feel. You must feel with them. So if you make it about your child, my child's got an issue, we need to go to the speech pathologist. My child is looking, a bit unhealthy, I need to go out and find something better for him. My daughter is, having a horrible time, I need to go chat to a friend about what's going on with her. Something's not right. And this is from Babyville all the way through. And especially around, I'll keep on talking about it, people who age and stage our children. Oh, it's just that stage. No, there's something for you to feel around this. So when your child is having a tough time, let's say as a toddler having a tantrum, let's say as a tween or a teen having a tantrum, there's something for you to feel with them. Now, this brings back our interconnectedness, that we must remember that we're here to heal together. As our children are acting in a certain way, they're raising this old stuff within us for us to actually heal as well. So it's twofold. It's about your child, yes, but you must also remember to address the elephant in the room, and that's the stuff within you. How did you feel when you were bullied as a child? Or how did you feel when you watched your sibling get bullied, if your child's going through bullying? How did you feel about being able to speak up and get heard in your family if your child has speech issues? It keeps on coming back to this. Now, when you are doing this, you're exponentially healing yourself, your child, and the family unit. Everything starts to snowball and everything starts to shift. You're not trying to take them week by week to the speech pathologist and work on one sound at a time. That's the old way of plodding along, and the trajectory of your child, in their soul path goes like this. Whereas if you're shifting within, then you're getting clear on what you need to do, but then your child's and your path and your family unit's path is going like this. And I can talk more on that soon, but not today because I'm trying to get through many points. See if that resonates. Number 6 is we aren't separate. We are, and I'm going to start from the family bubble. The most important thing is it starts at home, right? The family bubble is an interconnected living thing. And that's really important for us to remember, rather than just having a look, rather than saying, my son's experience, my son's having a tough time at school, or my son needs to go see the dentist. It's actually to come back to go, it's my experience as a mother to have a child who is being bullied, who won't eat his greens, who is being made fun of. Whatever it is, it's your experience as their mother that firstly counts. And this is this thing of putting the oxygen mask on first, to remember we have been conditioned to forget ourselves and forget our heart and forget our emotions that are playing out, whether you like it or not. Your physical body is clocking it, and you'll get tighter in certain places, or letting your belly out, letting things hang, letting, here hang. That this is the part you must honor yourself first. Your child is reflecting where you're not honoring yourself in all the ways they express themselves. Now, that sounds very complex, but what I'm going to be showing in the New Way course is literally down to the key basics in 10 weeks of how to start to unravel things the new way, is what I'm calling it, rather than going out the old way and chasing down and trying to fix your child, but forgetting the elephant in the room. So that's one thing, is to remember you must make it about yourself. And that sounds selfish, but if you don't, I'm going to then tell you what happens. So let's say you're, my child, but I'm going to stay up here. I'm happy. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't care. I'm up here. The family bubble is always seeking balance, energetic balance. So the higher you sit up here, I will not feel any of that low vibe stuff. I won't come down with you. Your child is going to match you an energetic opposite. So I see a lot of women who are trying their hardest to stay so high vibe, and then feeling the shame behind closed doors, trying not to show it, confusion of like, why is my child having mega meltdowns? Why is my child being so difficult? It's because the child's here saying, feel with me, mum. I'm reflecting this stuff that's hidden there within you that you've disconnected from. Feel with me, or I'm going to get louder, as in literally louder. I'm going to keep screaming and having meltdowns, or the problem will persist. Now, that problem persisting is children with any behavioral issue, from undiagnosed stuff, just, fussy eating or whatnot, right through to autism and, beyond. Any diagnosis you want to talk about, PDA, we can talk about all of them. It is this concept. They're asking, mum, come down and feel with me, so then I can actually not have to reflect all this stuff that we could be dealing with together. Now, when you do that, you're saying, I'm going to meet you. I'm going to feel with you. I'm wanting compassion. I want to be in the heart with you. Your heart connection is my priority. As I go like this, I won't feel with you. Even if you're saying, you're feeling angry and all this, I'm not feeling with you. And so then you get weakened heart connection with your child or your partner. This can go the same way with your partner, and it's happening a lot for women who are pulling too far up in the high vibe spiritual path, and their partner's literally energetically pulling back in balance. Now, when you say, I am with you, and I will look at this darkness that I will admit does exist within me, you're stamping out spiritual ego. And it's a massive one to take a step forward and say, yes, okay, I will honor that. Yeah, all right, those times in the past I have felt, okay, these emotions are real within me. Okay, I will humbly come back to owning that I have just as many shadowy behaviors as my family. I have just as many harsh, hard feeling emotions within me as well. And that's where your family matches you in respect, trust, love in all sorts of ways that you can't imagine until you start to do that. Number 7. So the concepts that I don't know where they were born from, whether it was the school system, the allied health system, or, like early, I don't want to say crunchy parenting, but the early parenting of like, we're doing a good thing here. It's not wrong because it's a step forward. But what I'm going to say is emotional regulation and the gentle type parenting approaches are essentially still asking for suppression. And yes, it sounds like an unpopular opinion for many people, but let's just say for the emotional regulation, it still is energetically giving off that sense to your child, emotions are no good. And certainly not, you should flow that stuff like you should flow your snot out, your wee, your poo, your vomit. You should flow that stuff out. And I agree so much that I am here doing it too. So the same with the gentle parenting. It's really pushing mums to separate from their big emotions inside and causing a lot of shame for the women who, like you, might be watching, and dads who have these emotions coming up, whether you like it or not, because you've hit the heart season of this era. When you're in that place, you cannot help but your big emotions coming up. Your children are going to reflect the rage, the fury, and everything. And it is not wrong. I cannot say this enough. So those approaches, just remember there's a dark side there, and it's called suppression. Now the children, I want to stand up for children who you may have one of these children in your household, the children who will not stop emoting whether you like it or not, the ones that are going to keep screaming, keep shouting, keep having meltdowns. They are to be revered, as well as the ones who are going to keep trying to prod you, the ones who are naughty, embarrassing, just plain triggering. Those children, they might be the same child, or you might have them in two different versions of your children. They are important and they need to know it. They do know it underneath, but you need to make that clear to them and really start to revere your wise being children in those positions, because they have come down to say, I'm going to shine this mirror so hard until my parents crack it. Now that is, sounding terrible, because it is. It's not easy for family chaos to go on and everyone to go, what? But if you don't look at this stuff, you either turn away from your children and they grow up thinking that their ways, either their big emotions or their prodding, ways that they were energetically doing were wrong, and their whole self-esteem goes down, but they actually push a whole part of their soul path away as well, and realizing this is an important thing for me to go forth in my truth. And it's also reflecting where you've tucked that piece of yourself away as well. The one that did have big emotions when you're younger, or the one that did, call truth or do anything that embarrassed and really upset your parents. But this time round, the children are getting louder and not backing down nearly as much. And so it's making, grown men crack. And it's certainly bringing many of us women to our knees as well. So remember this, that your child is here doing an important thing. I have been through it in my family to the nth degree, and the golden, results on the other side is a very strong, heart-connected family. We've been through so much stuff, but we've stuck through the fire and the phoenix has come out. My husband and I have turned our relationship that was, I can't think of the word, had all sorts of energetic links, codependent, into a beautiful, like unbelievably undescribable, respectful, loving relationship on the other side. Let alone all the dumping of the stuff that has come up for all of us. We are now standing in our truth. We are stronger for it. We know who we are, which brings far more, satisfaction and fulfillment in your life than keeping everything suppressed and trying instead to just keep on putting out the fires to fake family harmony. So that is a massive one. I would say this point right here is the biggest one of the whole list. Now, the last one, number 8, you must remember, when you shift within, the external changes. It's like you're in a simulation here, and you are the control panel. If you don't like something on the outside, shift something within. And this is where I'm guiding women and men to come back to those emotions. The more you shift, the more things will change. And I'm saying expect miracles. We're in a simulation here. The people are like, oh, my husband will never change, so I'm just going to keep on nagging at them, keep doubting that they'll ever, like my stuff or whatever. You're not expecting miracles. And that means it's that hard bit of, shifting within, and you will not believe the stuff that, people will shift and change. And I can tell you because I've gone through it myself with my partner and with my children as well. So in saying that, the types of miracles is children can drop their diagnoses, their medications, they can start talking a whole lot clearer. For those who are, should I seek a speech pathologist? You, as you do this process too, you know who you are. You drop tightness, health issues, hormonal issues, all of these issues that we think are physical are actually underneath energetic. Not only do you know who you are, you can see it in the eyes of your children and your partner. I know who I am as well. And there's an empowerment there. And I can see it in women when I've had sessions with them and I come back and they've had some massive shifting and they're just here. They're plonked. I'm here and I'm embodied. And to me, that is the ultimate way to be grounded and to be genuinely in your heart, is to have shifted this stuff and to land in your body. I could keep on going. So I'm also going to just say about partners, the same thing. You just, wow, my partner is respecting me. Wow, my partners realize they need to make a new life path. Wow, they're coming to, healthier diet or whatever it is. Big, massive realizations that our souls in our family can also come to just as much as we can. We need to stamp out the spiritual ego that the other people in our family aren't as high vibe or as spiritually aware as us. So that's it. Please take the time to consider if you feel like, yes, I would like to know step by step, going through the energetic basics, but also knowing there is depth that I'm bringing to this. That's why I'm running the New Way course, and we will just keep on going and we will keep on going. So when we come back, you're learning more each time. You're picking up more and more and more. And that's the way that I see in going forth, because there is so much for us to totally shift. That's why I'm calling it the New Way. From how we've been brought up, we have been soaking in so much parenting and conditioning, truths that are not essentially for us now. It might have been true back in those generations, but now we're coming to new things. And as you will see from many of these points, it's our children that matter. We will lose heart connection with them. They will turn away from their own, soul path and their true essence if we aren't doing the same thing for us. Come back to yourself. Feeling equals connection to your soul path, equals connection to joy and fulfillment and inner peace. Respect for yourself, heart connection, I could go on, energy, motivation, intuition, clarity. That's where it's at. So if you're interested, then click down below. It's going to be extremely affordable, as affordable as I can make it, so that it entices you to say, yes, I'm a student, I'm in, I'm going to keep on doing this, and I'm going to go to the nth degree to find that heart connection with myself and my family, because that's where it starts. Anything else that people are trying to do before having this foundation is a house of cards, and they are all starting to realize the house of cards is coming down until they get the basics of inner work and family work. Love to you all. Bye.